Good evening. I'd like to call this meeting to order. If you would please silently follow along with me in the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, liberty and justice for all. Would you please mute your mic? Ms. Posey, would you call the roll?
Yes, Madam Chair. Trustee Bucino?
Based on Deputy Supervisor Cole's email, I guess I'm supposed to say tonight, this is Trustee Bucino. I am in my home in Macomb Township, Michigan.
Thank you. Trustee Nevers?
Yes, I am in my daughter's home in Northville, Michigan, and I'm present.
Thank you. Trustee Oliver?
Here, 52100 North Avenue, Macomb Township, in my house.
Thank you. Trustee Smith?
Hi, it's Kathy. I'm in my home office in Macomb Township at my house.
Thank you. Treasurer Goodhue?
I am in my home in Macomb Township.
Thank you. Clerk Posey? I'm in my office at Town Hall, and I'm present. Supervisor Dunn?
I am present, and I am in my office at Town Hall also. Thank you. Next, we have approval of agenda items, and I have one item that I would like to remove from the agenda this evening, and that is the COVID policy, remote working. That is number 10 on the agenda.
Thank you, Madam Chair. I'd also like to indicate that we have a proposed removal under the consent agenda items. Item number 5E, discuss to approve easement agreement 2000 gap closure program. And we also then have a proposed add-on under the supervisor's office, boardroom technology improvement. That's all I have.
Thank you. Anyone else have any additions or corrections to the agenda? Very well. Is there a motion to approve the agenda?
Madam Chair, this is Clerk Posey. I'll make the motion to approve the agenda as amended.
Motion by Ms. Posey,
Supported by
Goodhue.
supported by Treasurer Goodhue to approve the amended agenda. Ms. Posey, would you call the roll?
Yes, Madam Chair. Clerk Posey, yes. Treasurer Goodhue?
Yes.
Trustee Bucino?
Yes.
Trustee Nevers?
Yes,
Trustee Oliver?
Yeah.
Trustee Smith?
Yes.
Supervisor Dunn?
Yes, that motion carries. The approval of the bills is before you tonight. As usual, there are two bill runs. If you wish an item removed, please indicate so at this time.
yes, Madam Chair. This is
Yes.
Trustee Nevers. I move that we approve both bill runs unless there is an issue. I didn't hear any issues, so that's my motion.
Thank
Approval
you.
of both bill runs. Thank you.
Motion by Ms. Nevers,
Support by Goodhue.
seconded by Ms. Goodhue to approve payment of both bill runs. Ms. Posey, would you call the roll?
Yes, Madam Chair. Trustee Nevers?
Yes,
Trustee Goodhue?
Yes.
Trustee Bucino?
Yes.
Trustee Oliver?
Yes.
Trustee Smith?
Yes.
Clerk Posey, yes. Supervisor Dunn?
Yes, that motion carries. Next, we have the approval of the previous meeting minutes, those being from October the 28th. Are there any additions, deletions, or corrections to the minutes?
Madam Chair, hearing
Madam
none,
Chair.
Clerk Posey will make a motion to approve the meeting minutes from October 28th, 2020 as presented.
Motion by Ms. Posey,
Support by Smith.
seconded by Ms. Smith to approve the minutes from October 28th. Ms. Posey, would you call the roll?
Yes, Madam Chair. Clerk Posey, yes. Trustee Smith?
Yes.
Trustee Bucino?
Yes.
Trustee Nevers?
Yes.
Trustee Oliver?
Yes.
Treasurer Goodhue?
yes,
Supervisor Dunn?
Yes, that motion carries. The consent agenda has items that are pretty routine, that come frequently before the board. If you want to discuss an item which is on the consent, please indicate so at this time.
Madam Chair, this is Treasurer Goodhue. I will make a motion to accept the consent agenda items as amended, for approval.
Motion by Ms. Goodhue,
Second by
Supported
Posey.
by Nevers.
seconded by Ms. Nevers to approve the consent agenda. Ms. Posey, would you call the roll?
Yes, Madam Chair. Treasurer Goodhue?
Yes.
Trustee Nevers?
Yes.
Trustee Bucino?
Yes.
Trustee Oliver?
Yes.
Trustee Smith?
Yes.
Clerk Posey, yes. Supervisor Dunn?
Yes, that motion carries. Next, we have public comments. This is on agenda and non-agenda items. There is a 3-minute time limit. If you wish to speak to the board, raise your hand, and we will call on you after you state your name.
We did have a resident leave a comment in the chat section. His name is Chris Bunch, and he would like to comment on tonight's meeting. Go ahead, Chris.
Thank you. Thank you very much, trustees. I appreciate the opportunity to have a couple minutes of your time. I wanted to take a moment to update you on the trust fund grant application that is in, and ask for your help with this. I understand that the supervisor coming on, and we would very much like to have the supervisor make time to participate in the trust fund board meeting on December 2nd. It's December 2nd at 9 a.m., and it will be a go-to-meeting webinar. I can provide the link and the contact information. The supervisor has to sign up in order to be on the meeting, but I'll provide all that information. Here's a little bit of update on where we are. The trust fund process this year is very competitive. There's over $40 million worth of applications, and there's going to be somewhere between $18 and $24 million to spend, unless they choose to increase the amount that they're able to spend, and nobody knows, of course, whether they're going to do that until the meeting actually takes place. So I think it would be very important to have somebody with decision-making authority participate in the meeting, so that if an opportunity to make adjustments arises, or if a need to make adjustments arises to ensure we get the grant, there's somebody there who can do that. We attempted to increase the score of the grant application. We submitted adjustments, and unfortunately, those were not accepted. So the grant application at this point scores 275 points, which is on the low end, and so again, we want to do everything we can to make sure that we can pull this in, because it's so competitive this year. At the last trust fund board meeting, at the October board meeting, we were able to get Mark Hackle, the county executive, and Candace Miller, the Public Works Commissioner. Both of them testified before the trust fund board about how important this project is, as well as a Chesterfield Township project that is in as well. They gave a very good representation of how important it is and how much they support it, and their comments were very well received. So I'm hopeful that with their support and with the help of you guys, we can bring this thing home. And then there's one other item that we need to address, and that is, and I can speak with Supervisor Dunn about this offline, but the purchase agreement between Six Rivers and the Township is set to is set for a closing date of no later than December 31 of 2020. And I think we all know that that's not going to happen at this point. Whether the grant came through or not, we would not be able to close by December 31, 2020. So we need to amend that purchase agreement, and I will speak with Supervisor Dunn about doing that. But we need to do that just to give ourselves time to get things lined up, or most hopefully to work through the grant process and get the grant. So that's kind of the update that I have for you. If you have any questions for me, I'd be glad to answer them, and I will follow up with the supervisor tomorrow. Thank you so much for the opportunity to speak tonight.
Thank you, Chris. This is Janet. I'm afraid if you call tomorrow, you're going to have to talk to yourself because we're closed tomorrow for Veterans Day.
Oh yeah, that's right. I forgot about that. I'll hold off until the following day,
Okay.
and then I'll reach out.
Thank you. Thank you for the update.
I did, if I have just.
Sorry, Chris, I didn't mean to cut you off there.
Oh, there we go. I just wanted, thank you. I just wanted to finish up by saying, as you know, you've got the park open and people have been using it and really enjoying it. And one of the other things that's been very interesting to us is that there have been a lot of bird watchers out there doing bird counts and watching the birds, and the list of different birds that are out there is pretty impressive. So it's a great asset, and we're excited to be a part of it. So anyway, I'll reach out to supervisor on Thursday, and we will get lined up to have somebody participate in the meeting on December 2nd. Thank you again so much.
Okay, thank you.
Is there anybody else that would like to make a comment tonight? If you would, just raise your hand, and I'll call on you. Frank Cusimano, go ahead. Go ahead, Frank.
Good morning. I apologize. I always forget to unmute. Good evening to everyone. Madam Chair, Frank Cusimano, 16188 Jenny Drive. My public comment is on agenda item number 6, which purports to set the compensation for elected officials for the next 4 years. The proposed action item suggests that the supervisor, clerk, and treasurer receive pay increases of $8,500 each in 2021 and $3,500 per year additional salary in fiscal years 2022, 2023, and 2024. That would result in fiscal year 2024 with the supervisor earning $109,000, the treasurer $104,000 per year, and the clerk $104,000 per year. I want to just initially state that this is nothing personal, that I believe every board officer elect are qualified, but that's not the issue. I will remind the board that it voted to exempt the collective bargaining units from Public Act 152 healthcare insurance requirements, which required a hard cap, certain amount, 80-20 or exemption. The board exempted itself by a supermajority. The vote was 5-2. That means the employees contribute nothing towards healthcare premiums. Now that's a major benefit, but because no fiscal impact was provided on the agenda item, the exact benefit amount in dollars is unknown. I presume that there is a Me Too resolution that elected officials get the same benefit as the most generous collective bargaining units package. A member of the board can correct me if this is not true. Does that save $7,000 or $8,000 per year? I know it probably is a significant amount of money as people have been burdened with having to pay more and more of their health insurance. Now that is money that an elected official gets to keep in his or her pocket. That should be considered as part of a total compensation overall package. So how much is appropriate? Well, if you rise to the top of the food chain in local politics, and how much is appropriate is decided by the board itself. In other words, you vote your own salaries. Other than embarrassment, there's no limitations. You would think that there would be at least a thorough review of all factors, including comparables presented in a professional manner in the board packet, but there isn't. I think voters voted for a change in the agenda item as presented is business as usual. Arguments about attracting and retaining qualified candidates by throwing money at the officials are thin. We can review the scandals that have taken place to flesh out that point. The starting point of the inquiry is whether the package is adequate, generous, or extravagant. When I ran a business in the Eastern Market, I paid my employees above union scale because I did not want other companies picking them off after I trained them. I also added responsibility to improve efficiency and production. I paid among the highest wages and benefits, but it was so because it was profitable to the company. I'm not opposed to pay increases, but they must be justified and linked to additional certifications or responsibilities. I will be requesting the board to consider committees of a whole similar to the county commissioners for purposes of expanding those inquiries into major third-party contracts. Several years ago, I commented the first thing and the last thing members of the board should think about every day is how to save the taxpayers' money. And I guess the question is this reasonable and prudent? Thank you. That concludes my comments for this evening.
Your time is up, sir.
I've concluded, Madam Chair.
Thank you.
Next we have Aaron Tuckfield. Go ahead.
Hello, board. My name is Aaron Tuckfield. Can you hear me okay?
Yes.
Yes.
Very good. My name is Aaron Tuckfield. As I said, my address is 47369 Beacon Square. That's in Macomb Township. I just wanted to log in this evening. I know this is the board's last meeting is currently constituted. Some of you guys won't be here on future meetings, and I just wanted to take this time to thank you guys for and women for your time, your dedication. I know Janet and Karen, I've worked with you for a while. Tim, I've talked to you quite a bit and worked with you a little bit, and I know Kathy I've spoken with as well. It's not something that's easy to do, and I just wanted to pass along my thanks as a resident for the time that you have spent for our township, and thank you for that time, and wish you good fortune going forward. And that is all that I have this evening.
Thank you, Aaron.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you, Aaron.
Okay, would anybody else like to make a comment? I'm not seeing anyone, Janet.
Okay, thank you. Then
Yep.
we will move on to unfinished business. Number 6 is been postponed from September 23rd, and it's to establish wage scale for full-time elected officials. This was on the board agenda before. Mr. Oliver, you asked to have it removed. You wanted to do some more research, so I'm going to call on you to present what you've found out.
Thank you, Supervisor Dunn. Can everyone hear me?
Yes, we can.
Okay. You've all received your packet. You've received the information in there. I'm not going to rehearse all that. It's clear. There's just a couple things I want to make comment on, and then we could go from there. Since 2014, the full-time elected officials have not received a pay increase in their compensation package. And I want to make the board aware of that, and the residents that are listening also aware of that. The proposed pay increase are for the full-time elected officials, not the trustees. The pay begins with the new board starting November 20th. It's not retroactive. This sounds like a big increase. However, if they receive a cost of living since 2014, this increase would be much higher. I suggested adding the 3 years to gradually get the pay current instead of one large payment. Taxes will not increase. Since 2014, all full-time employees, excluding elected officials and non-represented employees, have received a pay increase, where the full-time officials have not. The elected officials have a huge responsibility to their office. We are servicing over 100,000 people. And a prime example of the responsibility we just had was an election, and the clerk's office did a fantastic job. With all of the additional voters coming in, the absentee voters, that was huge. And I would imagine the clerk's office and many of her staff probably worked double time that week. So I just wanted the residents and our board to understand how hard these people work. The supervisor has also a huge responsibility. Our township is probably a $20 to $25 million business. It would be hard to find a CEO to run it for these wages. I understand it's not a business, but still, dollars are still dollars. Lastly, I want to say that I will not be ashamed for proposing a compensation package for the full-time elected officials. Again, they have a huge responsibility. And that concludes my statements. If there's any questions, ask away.
Mr. Oliver,
Yes.
I noticed that you did not mention the treasurer's office.
Oh, I'm sorry. But I did. The treasurer's office generally don't do elections. I know you're involved in them. Okay, but
No, but we do
The clerk's
collect
office was-
30,000. Go ahead.
well, I made it clear that these full-time officials have a huge responsibility. That means you, Karen, in your office.
But I'm sorry, but the treasurer's office is often overlooked. We collect 30,000 parcels of taxes 2 times a year, summer and winter. We take care of all the water bills, and the treasurer's office is very busy as well. And just like the clerk's office, we have our busy time and we have our downtime. But we have a very busy time collecting everything, and I'm a little offended that you didn't mention the treasurer's office. Thank you.
Yeah, Karen, I'm very sorry if you are offended. Please accept my apologies. That's why I think this is so important, because the full-time officials have not been treated fairly, I don't think.
Madam Chair, this is Trustee Busnell. I want to ask Trustee Oliver a couple things. Charlie, thanks for a conversation we had about 10 days ago to clear some air on some things. I really appreciate that. I know you did try to get a hold of me this weekend, but those close to me, I have not been feeling well. I had to go get the infamous COVID test today, so I'm waiting on those results. So I just want to respectfully ask you a couple questions, and like I said, I wish I could have, I think we did play a little phone tag, but never hooked up. But I want to, Frank Cusimano, who was the #1 trustee vote getter, said some great words, and he does a great job of expressing things I think are on the opposite end of the spectrum, so I'm not going to repeat all that. But I do want to address an elephant in the room. Why tonight? Why not next meeting? If these salaries are something you're not ashamed to vote for, the new board shouldn't be ashamed to vote for them. Or why not a 1 year and then have the next board discuss all this? Even that 1 year bump of $8,800 would still, with all the other benefits, again, we could argue this back and forth all day, but if my child came to me and told me they were going to get the salary and all the benefits they were going to get out in the township, I would think they're doing well for themselves. But again, Frank kind of addressed that, but why not next meeting? Why tonight? It's been on the table for a while. I think it's a legitimate question to ask why we're doing this tonight.
Tim, that is legitimate. I'll tell you why I brought it up now. Because I really didn't like the first proposal. It was too much, too fast. And as far as the new board, I really don't want to put that much pressure on 4 new people. That's a lot of pressure to put on them. They're going to have enough to wrap their head around being a trustee and understanding how the flow of the community works, the flow of the government office works. So I just felt that it's just too much to put on them. And furthermore, I am part of the new board.
Well, correct, right. And you could have, discussed with them and voted just as proudly with them. I don't know everybody on the new board sits with this. I know where a couple sit. I did get some feedback that, people reached out to the new board a little while ago, and like I said, Charlie, I knew you tried to reach out to me and this weekend, and like I said, I actually missed some work today to get this COVID test, so that's why I didn't follow up with you, and that's why I'm asking you now. But I just, the other thing too, a 4-year raise is every contract I've been involved with, either on management side or union side, is never been 4 years. So now we're voting on a 4-year raise is what we're doing. I think that first bump brings us up past Clinton Township. I think it brings us up past Shelby, and like Frank brought up PA 152, not to bring that back up because, there were some hard feelings about that the last couple meetings. This board doesn't pay that either. But I don't know. Like I said, my question, again, my concern is just why tonight. If it's so important, and I get it, to take the pressure off them, but that's what leaders are chosen to do, is make those tough decisions. And I think you're right. I think we are taking some pressure off of them. I think you're exactly right.
Tim, I got to inform you also, because I think you got on in 2016, but up to 2014, if I'm not mistaken, and I will mention his name because I thought so highly of him, John Brogwitz, our HR director at the time, every year he would bring the whole townships, all the board on December to the board to decide what they want to do with them. And he done it in a great fashion. And after he left, it was never brought up again for the elected officials. So, it does come up every year, or it should come up every year.
And Charlie, I do agree with that, because there's other routes a township can go, and they won't. This new board, not only if we do a 4-year raise, they won't have to deal with it now. They may not have to deal with it at the end of their term. You could, organize by ordinance a committee to help kind of make these decisions, to take it off the politicians. I agree. If we vote this in tonight, we won't have to worry about it for 4 years. But I would like to take pressure off politicians, get that committee formed, which Michigan statutory law says we can do. In the input of that committee is not always accepted. Clinton Township organized that committee, and the board still turned down their raises. I think it was last summer, the summer before. So it wouldn't be the end-all, be-all if we got that commission together. But, I would like to see that somewhere down the road that, maybe a commission is formed to take some pressure off people from taking these votes. But
any other questions, Tim?
No, I think that's it, Charlie, thanks.
Thanks, Tim. I appreciate the input.
This is Treasurer Goodhue. I'd like to make a comment. I collect the taxes and answer many, many phone calls and talk to a lot of residents. And a lot of them this year were very concerned with how they were going to pay their taxes, how they were going to pay their water bill, because one member or the other of the family had their income reduced or their hours reduced or weren't making any money at all because of COVID. I think this will be a slap in the face to our taxpayers by giving huge raises. If I was still here, I would vote against it. I feel that it's not fair to our taxpayers at this time when we're on uncertain times of what's going to happen in the future with this pandemic. I just think it's wrong timing right now. Thank you.
Well, Karen, just to comment back to you on that, this is not going to increase taxes. So
sooner or later it will, Charlie. Sooner or later it will. I see money going out of the township very fast. And sooner or later we are going to have to increase our township operating. Park and Rec needs the help of the township operating. There's different other things that are happening. Some of it was planned. I agree with that because we were fixing roads. We agreed to spend down our fund balance. But watching the numbers, I see the money going out really fast. And it's sooner or later we are going to answer, or this new board will have to answer to a tax increase.
Anyone else? Are there any questions, comments, or motions?
being done, Madam Chair, being that I brought this to the board, I want to move that we accept this compensation package for the full-time elected officials.
Motion by Mr. Oliver,
Supported by Smith.
seconded by Ms. Smith to approve the wage scale for full-time elected officials. Ms. Posey, would you call the roll?
Yes, Madam Chair. I would suggest that you call the roll for each position individually because there are 3 separate resolutions in the packet. So, Trustee Oliver, if you could make the motion to make the adjustment for the supervisor's position, and then if Ms. Smith wants to support that, and then repeat the same process for each position, please.
Thank you.
Okay. Madam Chair, can I ask a question first? When
Sure.
were the resolutions put into the packet? Because I printed my packet yesterday and I don't have resolutions.
They're in the packet right now that I'm looking at.
When were they added?
Karen, this is Kathy. In the first packet, there was 2 different packets that were sent by email. It was in the first packet, and then there was a second packet, I think, a couple days later, that it was not in. It was just the additional add-ons.
Okay, I printed the packet yesterday before the department head meeting, and it wasn't in that one. Okay.
I can look it up and tell you what date it was, if that helps.
Ms. Posey, would you call the roll?
Yes, Madam Chair. Trustee Oliver?
Yes.
Trustee Smith?
Yes.
Trustee Bassano?
No.
Trustee Nevers?
No.
Treasurer Goodhue?
No.
Clerk Posey, yes. Supervisor Dunn?
Yes. That motion carries. Thank you. Thank you,
Okay.
Mr. Oliver, for all your work.
What? Do I need to make a resolution for each?
Yes, Trustee Oliver, you would just make a motion to adopt the resolution for the clerk's salary at this point.
Motion to adopt a resolution for the clerk's salary?
Yes.
Motion by
Just made it.
Motion by Mr. Oliver,
I'm sorry, support by Smith?
seconded by Ms. Smith, to approve the wage scale for full-time elected clerk. Ms. Posey, would you call the roll?
Yes, Madam Chair. Trustee Oliver.
Yes.
Trustee Smith.
Yes.
Trustee Bucino.
No.
Trustee Nevers.
No.
Treasurer Goodhue.
No.
Clerk Posey, yes. Supervisor Dunn.
Yes, that motion carries. And the last one would be for the treasurer's office.
Make a resolution to adopt the salary scales for the treasurer's office.
Motion by Mr. Oliver,
Supported by Smith?
seconded by Ms. Smith, to approve the wage for the full-time elected treasurer. Ms. Posey, would you call the roll?
Yes, Madam Chair. Trustee Oliver.
Yes.
Trustee Smith.
Yes.
Trustee Bucino.
No.
Trustee Nevers.
No.
Treasurer Goodhue.
No.
Clerk Posey, yes. Supervisor Dunn.
Yes, that motion carries. I would like to go back to the supervisor's position, because at that point I wasn't doing it by title. So, Mr. Oliver, would you make that clearer in your?
I'll make the resolution to adopt the supervisor's compensation.
Okay, motion by Mr. Oliver,
Supported by Smith?
seconded by Ms. Smith, to approve the wage scale for the full-time elected supervisor. Ms. Posey, would you call the roll?
Yes, Madam Chair. Trustee Oliver.
Yes.
Trustee Smith.
Yes.
Trustee Bucino.
No.
Trustee Nevers.
No.
Treasurer Goodhue.
No.
Clerk Posey, yes. Supervisor Dunn.
Yes, and that motion carries. And thank you once again, Mr. Oliver, for your work on this. It has been long overdue, and hopefully we can move on from this and attract some candidates who are up to speed, let's say, with the economy. We'll now move on to new business, and that's Water and Sewer Department. And they are requesting approval to pay for the additional 90-foot of test boring at PS-10 replacement sanitary sewer on 23 Mile Road between Romeo Plank and Card. Mr. Wangland.
Thank you, Supervisor Dunn and board members. Tonight, Water and Sewer is in front of you asking for an additional 90-foot test bore, soil bore, I should say, at the existing pump station number 10. This will be payable to NTH Consultants in the amount of $8,000. As everyone's aware, Water and Sewer and Engineering have been working on moving water and sewer lines, as well as replacing the existing pump station 10, which is just west of Card Road on the south side of the road. Through our planning and engineering, it has come up and suggested to us that we do an additional soil boring at this depth to get a good handle on water table and in the quality of the soil at that depth. So we are in front of you tonight. I am in front of you tonight asking for permission to move forward with this soil boring. Thank you. I'm available for questions, please.
Thank you. Any questions for Mr. Wangland on this project? Are there any motions?
Madam Chair, this is Trustee Smith. I'll make the motion to request approval to pay for the additional 90 feet of test boring at PS-10 replacement sanitary sewer, 23 Mile Road between Romeo Plank and Card Road, project number 61-170059-03, NTH Consultants for $8,000.
Motion by Ms. Smith,
Second by Posey.
seconded by Ms. Posey, to approve the pay for the additional 90-foot of test boring. Ms. Posey, would you call the roll?
Yes, Madam Chair. Trustee Smith?
Yes.
Clerk Posey, yes. Trustee Bucino?
Yes.
Trustee Nevers?
Yes, but I have, excuse me for the interruption, I have a question. Did I hear Kathy Smith say 80,000 or 8,000?
8,000, Ms. Nevers.
Okay, sorry, yes, I approve, my vote is yes.
Trustee Oliver?
Yes.
Treasurer Goodhue?
Yes?
Supervisor Dunn?
Yes, that motion carries. Thank you.
Thank you, Board.
Under Human Resources, we have approval of Plan Review Analyst position description. Mr. Sordy.
Madam Chair and members of the board, as this board is aware, Mr. Box requested somewhat of a reorganization of his department, and to include the position of Plan Review Analyst. At the last meeting, this board approved that position. Since then, Mr. Box and I have met with the union. We've gone over the position description, established that the position does belong with the AFSCME unit, and established the compensation that was negotiated with the union and what Mr. Box felt is appropriate to obtain the appropriate individual for this position. So with that, you have in front of you this evening the position description completed with compensation and a union designation for the position of Plan Review Analyst. And I'd ask for a motion approving that position description, and I, of course, would be happy to answer any questions anyone has.
Thank you. Any questions on this?
Madam Chair, this is Karen Goodhue. I'll make a motion to approve the Plan Review Analyst position description.
Motion by Ms. Goodhue,
Supported by Nevers.
seconded by Ms. Nevers to approve the analyst position as presented. Ms. Posey, would you call the roll?
Yes, Madam Chair. Treasurer Goodhue?
Yes?
Trustee Nevers?
Yes.
Trustee Bucino?
Yes.
Trustee Oliver?
Yes.
Trustee Smith?
Yes.
Clerk Posey, yes. Supervisor Dunn?
Yes, that motion carries. Thank you. Next is authorization to initiate the recruitment process now for the same Plan Review Analyst. Mr. Sordy.
Madam Chair, members of the board, the supervisor is correct. This is a request now to begin the recruitment process for this position. It, of course, is per the collective bargaining agreement with AFSCME, and we would follow those guidelines, as well as some of the new recruitment processes that we've implemented, mostly by an electronic basis. But other than that, I'll be happy to answer any questions.
Thank you. Any questions for Mr. Sordy?
Madam Chair, this is Treasurer Goodhue. I'll make a motion to authorize the initiation of the recruitment process for the Plan Review Analyst.
Motion by Ms. Goodhue,
Supported by Nevers.
supported by Ms. Nevers to initiate the recruitment process. Ms. Posey, would you call the roll?
Yes, Madam Chair. Treasurer Goodhue?
Yes?
Trustee Nevers?
Yes.
Trustee Bucino?
Yes.
Trustee Oliver?
Yes.
Trustee Smith?
Yes.
Clerk Posey, yes. Supervisor Dunn?
Yes, that motion carries. Number 10 has been removed from the agenda, so we will move on to the Planning and Zoning Department. And the first one is a preliminary plan request for Wolverine Country Club Estate number 2. Mr. Box.
Thank you, Madam Chair and Board. Wolverine Country Club Estate 2 is a residential community. It's a continuation of a previous development. that being Wolverine Country Club Estates 1, located in Section 5, north of 25 Mile, east of Romeo Plank. It has a total of 281 lots, will be developed in several phases. It is a very large site, about 107 acres. In terms of department review, has been provided to the Planning Commission with a consensus for approval of the preliminary plan. The Planning Commission recommended approval.
Thank you. Any questions for Mr. Fox? Are there any motions on this project?
Madam Chair? Yes. Make a motion to accept the Planning Commission recommendation to approve the preliminary plan request Wolverine Country Club Estates located on the east side of Romeo Plank Road, south of 26 Mile Road, permanent parcel 08-05-301-009.
Motion by Ms. Posey,
Support by Goodhue.
seconded by Ms. Goodhue to approve the preliminary plan for Wolverine Country Club Estates number 2. Ms. Posey, would you call the roll?
Yes, Madam Chair. Clerk Posey, yes. Treasurer Goodhue?
Yes.
Trustee Bussino?
Yes.
Trustee Nevers?
Yes.
Trustee Oliver?
Yes.
Trustee Smith?
Yes.
Supervisor Dunn?
Yes, that motion carries. Thank you. Number 12 is an extension of time for a preliminary plan, Rockwood Park Site Condominiums. Mr. Box.
Thank you, Madam Chair. The Rockwood Park Site Condo was originally brought to the Township in August of 2018. After a few rounds of revisions, including the Macomb County Department of Roads rejecting an entrance on 21 Mile, the plans were revised and recommended for approval by the Planning Commission in February of 2019 and were subsequently reviewed and approved by the Board of Trustees on March 13th of 2019. Development, which is a single-family residential development with 21 units, will connect to the neighboring development of Rockwood and will include 2 phases. As of March 13th, 2020, the preliminary plan approval for this was expired. On September 10th of this year, they submitted a letter to the Township seeking an extension for the time for the site plan. This did go in front of the Planning Commission, where a motion was made to approve this extension, and the vote resulted in a 3-3 tie. I believe that one of the petitioners, Gasper Monaco, is in the attendee list tonight if you have any questions.
The Planning Commission was 3-3. Did you say that?
That is correct.
Okay. Mr. Sordi? Mr. Sordi?
Yes, Madam Supervisor.
When the vote is 3-3 tie at the Planning Commission level, what does that tell you?
Well, Madam Chair, what was voted on by the Planning Commission was a recommendation to the board. So even if they would have voted, 6-0 in favor, or 6-0 against, this board could still make the ultimate decision. It's simply for a recommendation.
Okay.
And I'm sure Josh can add to that if you'd like, but that's how it'll work.
Yep, and to add to that, the recommendation, the motion by the Planning Commission was to approve. So by ending in a 3-3 tie, correct me if I'm wrong, Mr. Assorti, but I believe that technically means that motion failed on the Planning Commission, but it wasn't 3-3. We have 6 members right now.
That's correct. It's not a recommendation to approve. It just failed.
Okay. So, are there any motions out there about this project?
I got a question. This is Charlie Oliver. Josh, we were at that meeting together. I think I made that motion to approve it, didn't I?
I believe you did.
Yeah. So I'm pretty sure I either made it or seconded it. I wasn't crazy about it, but I knew they were right there, and I felt we could get this thing moving a little bit. And I understood exactly where the other board members were coming from, because his time ran out. All right. So that's where we were at with that one. Janet, are you looking for a motion now? Are you looking for a motion now, or do you want some more discussion on this?
Well, we need some kind of motion to close this out.
I'd still stay with my original motion to extend the time for the preliminary plan of Rockwood Park Estate condominium located on north side 21 Mile Road.
So your motion is to grant the
extended. Yeah.
Okay. All right. Motion by Mr. Oliver.
Second by Posey.
Second by Ms. Posey to grant the extension of time as requested. Ms. Posey, would you call the roll?
Yes, Madam Chair. Trustee Oliver?
Yes.
Ms. Posey, yes. Trustee Bussino?
Yes.
Trustee Nevers?
Yes.
Trustee Smith?
Yes.
Treasurer Goodhue?
Yes.
Supervisor Dunn?
Yes, that motion carries. And the next one is pretty much the same thing. This is extension of time for a preliminary plan for Harmony Acres subdivision number 4. Mr. Boggs.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Harmony Acres is in section 16 of the township, north of 21, east of Romeo Plank. On September 29th, they did reach out to the township and ask for an extension of their site plan, which was set to expire on November 1st. The Planning Commission just last night made a motion to recommend approval of a 1-year extension retroactive to the November 1st date, and the motion passed 5-0. Internal departments also recommended approval.
Thank you. This one is a little bit different. Any questions for Mr. Boggs? Are there any motions?
Madam Chair, this is Trustee Oliver again.
Ooh, one at a time, please.
Okay. This is Trustee Oliver again. Last night I made the motion to extend this. I will make the motion again to extend this for 1-year time period, Harmony Acres subdivision.
Motion by Mr. Oliver.
Support by Goodhue.
Supported by Ms. Goodhue to grant the extension of time as requested. Ms. Posey, would you call the roll?
Yes, Madam Chair. Trustee Oliver?
Yes.
Treasurer Goodhue?
Yes.
Trustee Bussino?
Yes.
Trustee Nevers?
Yes.
Trustee Smith?
Yes.
Clerk Posey, yes. Supervisor Dunn?
Yes. That motion carries. Now we have another one, extension of time also for preliminary plan for Wexford Meadows subdivision. Mr. Boggs.
Thank you, Madam Supervisor. Wexford Meadows, another residential subdivision located in section 27 of the township, east of Heidenreich and south of 22 Mile. They did ask for an extension on September 29th. Their current time frame is set to expire on December 27th. Again, the Planning Commission voted and recommended a 1-year extension starting on 11/9/2020, and it passed on a 5-0 vote, and our internal departments are also recommending it.
Thank you. Any questions for Mr. Boggs?
Madam Chair, this is Treasurer Goodhue. I'd like to make a motion to approve the extension of 1 year of time for the preliminary plat of Wexford Meadows subdivision located on the east side of Heidenreich Road and approximately 1/4 mile south of 22 Mile Road. Permanent parcel 08271000034.
Motion by Ms. Goodhue,
Supported by Nevers. Sorry.
seconded by
Smith.
Ms. Smith, to grant the extension of time as requested. Ms. Posey, would you call the roll?
Yes, Madam Chair. Treasurer Goodhue?
Yes.
Trustee Smith?
Yes.
Trustee Bucino?
Yes.
Trustee Nevers?
Yes.
Trustee Oliver?
Yes.
Clerk Posey, yes. Supervisor Dunn?
Yes, that motion carries. From the supervisor's office, we have reappointments to commissions, and I will briefly walk you through this. I want everyone to know that Mr. Viviano has been consulted about this, and he is in agreement that when you have good people on board, you try and keep them. So I am asking for reappointments to the Building Board of Review. This is a commission that is there to review any type of building violations, and Mr. Maples informs me that even though they are very inactive, that we have to have it. We have to have this commission. So at this point, I would like to reappoint Frank Bayer, James Blank, Patrick Finland, Dale Hurtcom, and Bill Thompson. I think we'll do these separately. Is there a motion to approve that?
Are you looking for each person separately or just that board of review?
Not separately, no, just those people that I named to be reappointed.
Okay. Madam Chair, this is Treasurer Goodhue. I'll make a motion to reappoint to a term on the Building Board of Review to expire on December the 31st, 2022, Frank Bayer, James Blank, Patrick Finland, Dale Hurtcom, and Bill Thompson.
Motion by Ms. Goodhue,
Support by Smith.
supported by Ms. Smith to reappoint individuals mentioned. Ms. Posey, would you call the roll?
Yes, Madam Chair. Treasurer Goodhue?
Yes.
Trustee Smith?
Yes.
Trustee Bucino?
Yes.
Trustee Nevers?
Yes.
Trustee Oliver?
Yes.
Clerk Posey, yes. Supervisor Dunn?
Yes, that motion carries. The next one is for the Planning Commission, asking for a reappointment of Michael Hardy. He is the current chairperson. Aaron Tuckfield, who is the current co-chair, and Charlie Oliver, who is the board rep. Their expiration would be December 31st of 2023, except for Mr. Oliver, whose expiration date runs with his term of office. So he would add one more year. Any questions?
Madam Chair, Clerk Posey will make a motion to approve reappointment to a 3-year term on the Planning Commission, term to expire 12/31/2023 for Michael Hardy, Aaron Tuckfield, and Charlie Oliver as the board representatives. Term to expire 11/20/2024.
Thank you. Motion by Ms. Posey,
Support by Nevers.
supported by Ms. Nevers, to approve the members to the Planning Commission. Ms. Posey, would you call the roll?
Yes, Madam Chair. Clerk Posey, yes. Trustee Nevers?
Yes.
Trustee Bucino,
Yes.
Trustee Oliver,
Yes.
Treasurer Goodhue,
Yes.
Supervisor Dunn.
Yes.
I'll try Trustee Smith one more time.
I'm sorry, yes.
Thank you.
That motion carries. Next is, term on the Zoning Board of Appeals, and the two gentlemen are Dave DeCoster and David Piper. They are both set to expire on December 31st of this year, so their new appointment would run until 2023.
Madam Chair, Clerk Posey, I've had the pleasure of working with these two gentlemen on the Zoning Board of Appeals, so I will gladly make a motion to approve a 3-year term on the Zoning Board of Appeals, term to expire 12/31/2023 for Dave DeCoster and David Piper. They both are an asset to the township.
Thank you. Motion by Ms. Posey,
Supported by
Supported
Nevers.
by
supported by
Ms. Nevers.
Ms. Nevers, to approve the reappointment of Dave DeCoster and David Piper. Ms. Posey, would you call the roll?
Yes, Madam Chair. Clerk Posey, yes. Trustee Nevers,
Yes.
Trustee Bucino,
Yes.
Trustee Oliver,
Yes.
Trustee Smith,
Yes.
Treasurer Goodhue,
Yes.
Supervisor Dunn.
Yes. That motion carries. Last one is a reappointment to the Historical Commission, would be Ed Teller and Ed Gallagher, both set to expire December 31st of 2020, so their new term would last till 2023. Any questions?
Madam Chair, this is Treasurer Goodhue. I'd like to make a motion to reappoint to the Historical Commission Ed Teller and Ed Gallagher with a term to expire December the 31st, 2023.
Thank you. Motion by Ms. Goodhue.
Supported by Smith.
Seconded by Ms. Smith, to reappoint the members to the Historical Commission. Ms. Posey, would you call the roll?
Treasurer Goodhue,
Yes.
Trustee Smith,
Yes.
Trustee Bucino,
Yes.
Trustee Nevers,
Yes.
Trustee Oliver,
Yes.
Clerk Posey, yes. Supervisor Dunn.
Yes, that motion carries. Number 16 is the proposed ad.
Madam Chair,
Yep.
Madam Chair, this is
Yep.
Treasurer Goodhue. I would just like to encourage the new board to encourage the members of these commissions, particularly the Planning Commission and the Building Board of Review, to attend classes. I did attend some planning classes, and there have been a lot of changes, and I think it would be beneficial if people serving on these commissions were updated and take some classes through MTA. I found them very beneficial, and I think they would too. So I would encourage the new board to encourage the members to update themselves. Thank you.
Thank you. Now we will move on to the add-on, and this is boardroom technology improvements. Is anyone from IT?
Yeah, this is Bob Ivanovsky.
Pardon?
This is Bob Ivanovsky.
Go ahead, Bob.
Madam Supervisor, members of the board, tonight I'm seeking a motion to approve a request to purchase technology equipment to update the boardroom downstairs. The township is trying to get back to
some normal prior to the COVID outbreak, while also, trying to follow some rules for MIOSHA based on large gatherings. The motion is to approve purchasing this equipment not to exceed $50,000. We currently have some costs. It's not a complete list, and these funds will probably be reimbursed to the township under the CARES Act through the Macomb County. If you have any questions, I'm here to answer them.
Thank you. Just a couple comments.
Sure.
The Zoom meetings is really what this brought this all to a head. Our broadcast media person has been talking to me for a long time about improvements to the boardroom, and it was quite costly, and it was kind of put on the back burner because it was not in the budget at that time. It since has been put in the budget to cover this. But as you all know, if you own a computer, if you buy one today, tomorrow it's out of date. So our boardroom, all of the equipment in there was original with the building. So it really is time that we took a look at it, and actually there are quite a few new improvements where, like Ms. Posey is calling the roll here. From now on, if this gets passed, it will be a vote by pushing a button, and the whole audience can see it, as well as people on TV. And the best part of this is that will probably be reimbursable under the CARES Act. So this would be funds from Macomb County. The other good thing is that if the board approves this tonight, the work could be done in time for the next November meeting. So it's a lot to digest, but we have some IT people here who are ready to go. So if you have any questions, Bob can certainly answer. Thank you.
Madam Chair,
Yes.
Trustee Oliver here. Bob, this is a question for you, Bob.
Yes, sir.
In lieu of the COVID situation, everyone's buying all this extra equipment.
Correct.
Is it available?
Yes, the quote that was presented to the board, those laptops are available. The TVs and the mounts are also available, and they're just waiting on your approval to be purchased. The Zoom account was already created, so that's ready to go.
Good. That was my only concern, because as you know, so much equipment now is back ordered and hard to get.
That is correct. That is correct, and I was told by the vendor that they're experiencing, like when it was in March, where stuff was just flying off the shelf.
Okay, that's good. I'm glad we're acting on this tonight. Thank you. That's all I got.
Madam Chair, this is Trustee Smith. Can I ask a question of Bob?
Sure.
Bob, my question is, and maybe I didn't hear you correctly, did you say the Zoom account is free?
No, I said it's all set up and it's ready to go.
Okay, because I deal with the Zoom, and sometimes if we don't do it the proper way and get enough of the components on it, it would cut off. So, okay, thank you.
Anyone else? Any comments, questions, or motions?
Madam Chair, Clerk Posey will make a motion to approve the purchase of laptops, monitors, cameras, tripods, Jabra speakerphones, Wi-Fi hardware and software, and additional equipment and materials to improve communication with the public in the boardroom and lobby of Town Hall at a cost not to exceed $50,000.
Motion by Ms. Posey.
Support by Oliver.
Seconded by Mr. Oliver to approve this purchase. Ms. Posey, would you call the roll?
Yes, Madam Chair. Clerk Posey, yes. Trustee Oliver?
Yes.
Trustee Bussino?
Yes.
Trustee Nevers?
Yes.
Trustee Smith?
Yes.
Treasurer Goodhue?
Yes.
Supervisor Dunn?
Yes. Motion carries.
Thank you, Board.
Next, we have a treasurer's office request to collect summer taxes for the 4 local school districts. Ms. Goodhue.
Yes. Every year about this time, we receive requests from the school districts to collect their next summer taxes. So these would be for 2021. And in order to enter into an agreement with them, I need approval of the board to collect the summer taxes for the 4 local school districts pursuant to the terms of Section 1611 of Public Act 333 of 1982, and we are keeping the compensation of $1.75 per parcel. And I'm requesting a motion to enter into agreements with the school districts.
Thank you. Any questions of Ms. Goodhue? Anyone care to make a motion?
As Madam Chair, I would make a motion to have the Treasurer's Office collect the summer taxes for the 4 local school districts pursuant to the terms of Section 1611 of Public Act 333 of 1982 for the compensation of $1.75 per parcel.
Motion by Ms. Nevers,
Support by Treasurer Goodhue.
seconded by Ms. Goodhue to approve the request to collect summer taxes for the school districts. Ms. Posey, would you call the roll?
Yes, Madam Chair. Trustee Nevers?
Yes.
Treasurer Goodhue?
Yes.
Trustee Bussino?
Yes.
Trustee Oliver?
Yes.
Trustee Smith?
Yes.
Clerk Posey, yes. Supervisor Dunn?
Yes. That motion carries. Thank you.
Thank you.
Parks and Recreation Department is asking for the front door replacement. Carl?
Yes. Thank you, Madam Chair. Good evening, board members. Parks and Rec Department is requesting permission to replace the front doors at the Recreation Center. Our plan is to move the existing front door that was purchased in 2017 to replace the lobby doors that have been in place since the building opened in 2004. This is a single source purchase. We currently have Stanley door, so for aesthetics and practical purposes, we'd like to use Stanley Access Technologies once again. To compare, we did find one other company with a similar door, but their price was $3,070 more. I've included the quote as well as the confirmation of process from the purchasing specialist. With that, we're requesting to purchase a new door for the Recreation Center from Stanley Access Technologies in the amount of $7,680. I'd also like to point out that since the new door will be touchless and automatic, it also can be paid for with CARES Act money from the COVID fund from the county. I'm available to answer any questions.
Thank you. Any questions for Mr. DeCaro? Any questions, comments, or motions?
Madam Chair, this is Trustee Smith. I'll make the motion to purchase a new door for the Recreation Center from Stanley Access Technologies in the amount of $7,680.
Motion by Ms. Smith,
Supported by Oliver.
seconded by Mr. Oliver to replace the front door as proposed. Ms. Posey, would you call the roll?
Yes, Madam Supervisor. Trustee Smith?
Yes.
Trustee Oliver?
Yes.
Trustee Bussino?
Yes.
Trustee Nevers?
Yes.
Treasurer Goodhue?
Yes.
Clerk Posey, yes. Supervisor Dunn.
Yes. That motion carries also.
Thank you, Board.
Now we will move on to, board comments. Trustees' comments will be first, and, Ms. Smith.
Madam Chair, thank you. As you know, this is my last meeting. And I would like to thank the board for the opportunity to sit with, as a board, we've had many challenges, and we continue to have an ongoing pandemic. But I'd like to take this opportunity to thank all the department heads and all our employees that continue to serve our residents to the best of their abilities while trying to keep themselves and our residents safe. Your hard work hasn't gone unnoticed, and I'd like to thank each and every one of you. I know we haven't seen a lot of each other in the last 8 months, but I know it's been a real hard way to go. To our new board, I'm excited to see you move our township forward. I know the possibilities are endless. If I could give you any advice, it would be communication is key. Listen to each other, work together as a whole. I have no doubt this board will do great things for our township, and I look forward to watching it. As our outgoing board, it's been a pleasure to know each and every one of you. I wish you all well and good health. To our residents, thank you for staying engaged with the township, and I wish everyone a happy holidays. Thank you.
Thank you. Mr. Bosno.
Yes, Madam Chair, thank you. It's also my last meeting. Thought long and hard what I wanted to say tonight, and I know those who supported my efforts over the years don't really need me to say much more, and those who did not probably don't want me to say any more. But I do want to thank the residents for giving me the opportunity to serve this community at a different level than I had in the past. I've always been very, very engaged in my community, and it's been a pleasure to serve the residents of this township for the last 4 years. But to all those who support me, don't support me, I believe that there's a higher power guiding all of us, and I truly believe that, as Ms. Smith just mentioned, this pandemic, that I'm exactly where I'm supposed to be right now, helping my school district, helping my students through these extraordinary times. So once again, I thank the residents. I wish the board new luck. Good luck. I agree. I do think good things are on the horizon.
Thank you. Ms. Nevers.
Yes, Madam Chair. I would just like to thank a few people for Karen Goodhue for her years of service, and just great attitude in the treasurer's office. And I'd also like to thank both Kathy Smith and Tim Bussanow for their service, and it was a pleasure working with both of you. I wish you good luck and to be safe. And I also would like to extend my gratitude to all of our veterans out there who have served this country nobly. Thank you.
Thank you. Mr. Oliver.
Thanks, Madam Chair. Number one, yes, Nancy, you are 100% right. Thank the veterans. We wouldn't be standing here without them. Number two, I echo your sentiments on the treasurer. Karen, you did a great job. Thank you. Tim, you did a good job. Thank you. And Janet, man, we go back a lot of years, Janet, working back and forth in this community. And I really want to thank you. I really do, from the bottom of my heart. With that, a couple other things. Just a comment, Karen, you had expressed about going to the meetings and stuff to learn how to do planning. Mm-hmm. Our planning commission, we are very fortunate. Every planner has gone through the citizen planner that's put on by MSU, and there is one empty seat on the planning commission, and when that seat gets filled, we will encourage that person to take that course if they haven't already done it. So that's a great course to take. It really be able to get your head wrapped around planning. The other thing, I want to thank the voters. It was a wild election. That's probably all I can say about the voters. But thank you for the voters that supported me. I really appreciate that. Lastly, as you've seen on tonight's agenda, we had 3 time extensions for plats and other things planned. The Planning Commission runs into this quite often, but the problem that we're starting to run into is we really have no parameters, we have no guidelines, we don't have no really policy on how to deal with these time extensions. We give them a 1-year extension, but there's no parameters on how long we could do that. There's no cost to do that. So a petitioner could come in, they could ask for that time extension, but the township concurs money when they put it on the agenda. So I suggested last night to Josh, our planning director, that we look into it and maybe come up with a policy and bring it to the board of trustees, and we could act on it. This way we'll have something to go on, some kind of policy to work with when people come in and ask for these extensions. It'll probably streamline our procedure. Other than that, again, all the board members that are leaving, thank you for your service. You'll be missed, but I hope you're still around. I really do. Kathy, I know for sure you're going to be. Karen, you live here also. You're going to be here. Janet, I don't see you going anywhere. You'll be around. Someone's got to dedicate that new library. So, and that's all I got.
Thank you. Treasurer's comments.
Yes. I also want to thank all the veterans. I'm very proud that my husband was one of them, and I know how much he sacrificed, and I know that many of them sacrificed by giving it all. So I want to honor the veterans as well. I also have some comments, and since this is my last board meeting, and I guess I want to do a little disclaimer first and say that I wrote this before the agenda even came out. So that's my disclaimer. I have served 15 years on a local school board and 13 years for Macomb Township. That is 28 years of serving my community, and of that I am proud. I have never considered myself a politician, but a public servant. As a lifelong resident of Macomb Township, I have known many of the people that have served on this township board before us. And although some have served for personal gain, many have served and have considered themselves public servants as well. Macomb Township is growing fast, and with that comes growing pains. One of the pains is that everything is now becoming political. While I congratulate the new board, I also encourage them to put politics aside, serve as public servants, and make decisions for the best interest of Macomb Township residents, not for your own financial and political gain. I congratulate Mr. Drolette as the new treasurer. You are inheriting a great staff. I have met many wonderful residents and worked with just as many wonderful employees here. I have also met some pretty nasty people. I will remember the wonderful people fondly and forget, but continue to pray for the nasty people. Thank you, Macomb Township, for putting your trust in me, and know that I am proud to have served you. Thank you.
Thank you. Clerk's comments.
Thank you, Madam Chair. As we are slowly recovering from the presidential election, as you know, 2020 is a monumental year for United States elections. we had election officials and employees of this township heroically assisted the clerk's department with the administration of the presidential election during a pandemic with record-breaking voter turnout. I would like to personally thank my staff and a minimum of 6 departments in the township who assisted administering this election. It was a challenge like no other, and we couldn't have done it without them. When we look back at this year, we will see that a national community of election officials and poll workers showed up to make democracy happen for all of us. I just want to thank them, all of our poll workers that continually show up and are committed to elections in Macomb Township. It is their pride for their community and civic responsibility that makes Election Day go smoothly for the citizens. We did it, and we did it with all of your help, and my department is extremely grateful. I'd like to just go over some election facts in the aftermath of the presidential election because we get a lot of questions. Number one, election officials are required to follow strict rules when it comes to ballot counting, handling, and reporting. Differences between differences between final results and initial vote counts are due to it taking several days after polls close to ensure all votes are counted. Vote recounts and legal challenges are a regular feature of elections and must take place under established guidelines and processes. As expected, election results have taken longer this year. Millions of people across the United States voted by mail, and mail ballots take longer to count. People across political parties successfully voted by mail, early in person, and at the polls in record numbers. And finally, I get asked all the time, why does Pennsylvania do this? Why does this state do that? Are you done? Remember that each state decides how to conduct its own elections. Rules about registering to vote and the ways voters can lawfully cast their ballots are different in each state. Just to give you some statistics on Macomb Township, we increased our registered voters from 2016 to 2020 by 10,000. The total number of voters for this year's presidential election was 55,979. In 2016, we had 44,963. We had 33,115 people vote by absentee ballot, and at the polls, we had 22,864. We had an 80.2% turnout, and in 16, we had a 75% turnout. Obviously, this was no small task. I want to personally thank my staff. In that week alone, we put in over 110 hours that week individually without complaining, without asking for extra time off, and we were to thousands and thousands of people. They took it with stride, and they pushed through it, and they did a phenomenal job. So for that, I'm extremely thankful for the staff that I have here in the clerk's office. Lastly, I'd like to thank our veterans as well. Tomorrow is in honor of you. And lastly, I'd just like to say to Kathy Smith, it was a pleasure working with you. Unfortunately, I'm pretty sure it wasn't the experience you had anticipated or expected, but it was my pleasure working with you, and I certainly hope to continue our friendship in the future. And Janet, I wish you the best in your retirement, good health, and some good times. That's all I have.
Thank you. Supervisors' comments. Tomorrow is Veterans Day, and to all the veterans out there, thank you for protecting the American citizens from any threats of any kind or from anywhere. You are all heroes. Since this is my last meeting, I want to thank all the staff for helping me this past 8 years. They are the backbone of this community. They have done a wonderful job, and I appreciate their input and assistance. Thank you to the Township Board for their support and encouragement, especially Kathy Smith for filling in for a vacancy on the board. It was our pleasure to work with you bring you up to speed in a very short time. Now, it is sad that in an election, some candidates lose, and the board will be saying goodbye to Trustee Tim Buzzano and Treasurer Goodhue. Thank you for your dedication to this community, and good luck to you in the future. My goals when I won this election 8 years ago were very simple. I wanted to see if we could preserve some of the history in this township, and we have started on that. I wanted to secure some parkland, set it aside, and develop it as we needed it. The last goal that I had was to get our own north branch of the library. I am happy to say that although some have just started to shake place, the wheels are in motion. As it was said before, this position is not easy, but with assistance from the staff and the board, we have come a long way. It has been my great honor to have served this township for the past 36 years. Good luck to the new board members, and be sure to consult with the seasoned veterans for their input. That's all I have this evening, and that concludes the business. Is there a motion to adjourn?
Madam Chair, propose we make the motion to adjourn.
Motion.
Support by Oliver.
Seconded by Mr. Oliver to adjourn. Ms. Posey, would you call the roll?
Yes, Madam Chair. Clerk Posey, yes. Trustee Oliver?
Yes.
Trustee Bussino?
Yes.
Trustee Nevers?
Yes.
Trustee Smith?
Yes.
Treasurer Goodhue?
Yes.
Supervisor Dunn, you're last.
Yes.
There you have it.
That motion carries, and we are adjourned.